All right, let's get right into it. If you're working on your level 6 apprenticeship, you already know how crucial mastering your behaviors is. Today, we're tackling a big one, B11, Adaptability. We're going to figure out what it really means at a professional level, how you can actually build that skill, and, most importantly, how you can prove you've got it locked down for your portfolio and that all-important final assessment.
So to make this all feel a bit more real, let's follow the story of Jody. She's a level 6 project controls apprentice at a company called IBA Stores. And her challenge, well, it's probably a lot like yours, figuring out this final stretch to getting that professional qualification.
Jody's mission, should she choose to accept it, is to get her head around B11 adaptability. She needs to understand it, she needs to develop it, and she needs to evidence it. Now, that can feel like a huge mountain to climb, but by following her journey, we're going to build a really clear roadmap that you can use for your own apprenticeship.
And here is that roadmap. First, we'll look at the challenge itself. Then we'll define what true adaptability actually is. After that, we'll get into how to develop it, how to prove it for your Aptum portfolio, how to absolutely nail your endpoint assessment, and we'll finish up with your very own adaptability toolkit.
Okay, first up, the B11 challenge. I want you to think of your project like a ship on the ocean. Being adaptable means you're the captain who can navigate through any weather, not just when the seas are calm and the sun is shining.
And, just like a lot of us when we're starting something new, Jody feels a bit lost in the fog. This whole B11 requirement seems really complex, and honestly, she has no idea where to even start. But the good news is, she's got a great crew. Her mentor Adam, her coach Olivia, and her line manager Riedel. They're going to help her chart the course.
So what is true adaptability, really? Especially at this level? Well, if you're going to captain a ship, you first need to learn how to read the charts. This is where Jody, with a little help from her mentor, starts to get a clear picture of what she's actually aiming for.
So let's look at the official definition. B11 Adaptable means responding constructively and effectively to change, maintaining performance and judgment as circumstances evolve. The key phrase there isn't just about dealing with change, it's about maintaining performance and judgment. It's not about surviving chaos, it's about staying in control within the chaos.
And this, right here, is the game changer for a level 6 apprentice. We're moving away from just reactive change, firefighting, making impulsive decisions. The goal is what we call measured adjustment. This is a purposeful, fully assessed response where you always maintain governance and control. And why does that matter? Because that measured approach is what protects your budgets, your timelines, and your stakeholders' confidence. It's professional control, not panicked reaction.
Her mentor Adam really hits the nail on the head with this. He tells her, it's not about just changing, it's about purposefully adjusting your course while keeping the destination in sight. See the difference? It's knowing why you're turning the wheel, not just getting tossed around by the waves.
So that brings us to our third stop, how to actually develop B11. Once you can read the charts, you need to learn how to adjust the sails. This is all about building those practical, hands-on skills.
And luckily, there's a pretty clear 4-step process for this. First, you've got to get comfortable with uncertainty. Learn to operate when things aren't black and white. Second, you have to actively strengthen your decision-making when things are shifting. Third, and this is a big one, you need to learn from every single experience. And fourth, you develop that crucial balance between being flexible and staying disciplined.
Now, Jody's coach, Olivia, really drills down on that third point about learning from experience. She says that looking back, that reflective practice is your greatest tool. After every storm, asking yourself, okay, what worked? What didn't? That's what really makes you a better captain.
Okay, so you're building this skill. Great. Now for the bit that really counts, proving it. For your Aptum e-portfolio, you absolutely have to document this voyage. Think of it like a captain's logbook. It's the official record, the hard evidence that proves you know what you're doing.
And that evidence has to be real, tangible stuff. We're talking about reflective statements on things that actually happened. Adapted project plans, forecasts, or reports, records of how you responded to a new requirement, even emails or feedback from your colleagues that specifically mention how responsive you were. Every piece of evidence has to be a real-world example.
This is where Jody's manager, Riedel, is so helpful. She helps Jody see that the evidence is right there in her daily work. That annoying scope change on the Q3 project, that's not just another task. That's a perfect piece of evidence for her logbook. The trick is to spot those opportunities and then, actually write them down.
And when you do write it down, your reflection needs structure. It's not just a diary entry. You have to explain 1. What changed and why. 2. Exactly how you adapted your approach. 3. What the impact of your actions was. And 4. This is the most important part, what you learned from it all. That 4-part structure is your ticket to a high-quality entry.
All right, we're on the final leg of the voyage now, mastering your endpoint assessment, the EPA. You've logged the journey, you've gathered your proof, and now it's time to face the assessors and show them that you really are the captain of your ship. So you can pretty much guarantee you'll get a question like this one. How do you adapt your approach when project circumstances change? Now, on the surface, it sounds simple, but what they're really looking for is a level 6 answer that shows measured professional judgment.
And here's the secret. The core of a top-tier answer can be boiled down to a simple 3-part formula. You start with, first, I assess the impact. Then, second, I adapt my controls proportionally. And you finish with, and third, I always work to maintain governance. It's a simple, powerful, and incredibly professional framework for your answer.
Okay, here's another one they love to ask. Can you describe a time when adaptation improved project outcomes? They want a specific story here that connects something you did to a good result. This is where your logbook becomes your best friend.
The formula here is all about linking cause and effect. Connect your specific action directly to a positive outcome. So instead of just saying, I adopted the report, you say, by adjusting the report style based on their feedback, I gave the stakeholder the exact clarity they needed, which directly led to them approving the change. See? You're connecting the dots for the assessor.
Well, we've navigated the whole journey, from understanding the challenge all the way to facing the assessors. Now, it's time to pack everything we've learned into your personal adaptability toolkit, so you're ready for any weather that comes your way.
So here it is, your toolkit. Number 1, assess, don't guess. 2, adapt with purpose, not just because you can. 3, find that sweet spot between flexibility and discipline. 4, evidence your journey every single step. And 5, communicate with absolute clarity, especially when things are changing.
So you have the tools now. The charts are in your hands. The final question isn't for me to answer, it's for you. Take a look at your projects, your to-do list, your meetings for this week. Where is your next opportunity to step up, take the helm, and captain the change?